So, Cam, how have you been?
This isn't 15. What the fuck is this?
What?
Ah,
15 came out. What the fuck are you talking about?
yeah, 15 came out. Don't you
Oh,
know?
shit. Well, that's a revelation. Well, I'm suddenly hearing, like, heavy breathing in the call. I don't think we're alone.
Oh man, is Jeff back?
Jeff, that's not Jeff.
No, that's not as staticky as Jeff. Who is this?
Me?
Oh no, I know that demon noise from anywhere.
No, you don't.
I have been trained.
Oh, what's up, guys? I just thought I'd mosey on in today.
Yeah, with the demon breathing.
You've been doing this in secret without my consent, and I've come to join.
Oh,
Also,
well,
hi.
well, for who are you?
TP, your friend.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, welcome aboard.
Okay.
We're bad people. Hello.
We got 4 people recording this time. It's one step above Jeff.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, get fucked, Jeff.
Get fucked. Although he's probably not watching this, the Sith Lord, but that's okay. No one watches this. Anyways, how has everyone been as of late?
I've been fine, I guess. I saw the new trailer for the next Shovel Knight campaign, Spectre of Torment. I thought that looked really good.
Oh, shit, yeah, that was just yesterday from the VGAs, which, on that note, was, massive air quotes, incredible.
It was. Yeah. I liked it when Pepsi Man dressed up as a.
Yeah, his arch nemesis, Razor.
I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, it'll come up in, like, editing, probably. I'll be sure to show him off in his full glory.
Great.
Let's just say he was the highlight, absolutely.
Well,
You are right, though. The Spectre Knight trailer did look cool. Apparently, it's a prequel to the original Shovel Knight.
Yeah, it is.
so
Where it
you,
fits in the lore.
so as you can imagine, I'm pretty stoked for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
same.
looking forward to it. I'm still part of the, like, small minority that's yet to play Plague of Shadows.
Oh no, I actually have to play. Still have to play.
I would
Mexican game
highly
as well.
recommend it. I would highly recommend it.
I
Yeah.
beat it.
Yeah,
Me too.
apparently
Well,
it's really good.
It's weird because it starts off really difficult and then it gets easier as you get more bombs.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of reverse difficulty. Not really sure what I think about that, but it's pretty fun.
Alright, then. Only shows how strong Plague Knight is.
Strunk.
Strong.
Also, just me, I kind of enjoyed the little additions to the story it had.
I wouldn't know
So-
anything about that, but I assume it's good.
I mean,
I like
mostly revolves around Plague Knight, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Shovel Knight. At least from what I remember, Vanilla Shovel Knight at least had good dialogue, so should be fine.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, have you been up to anything else, Mr. TP?
10.
Yeah, 10.
Yes, Mr. TP. I guess I also got courtesy of another friend. I got Overwatch. I don't know. I don't know or care what. Okay, Owen. I know you don't. I know you don't like the fan base.
No,
I
I'm
love the
going
like
into
one
me.
surprise noise and the other just deep sigh.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I'm not going to as like a fan base. I'm just going to as a game. Okay.
As a game, it's fine. No, I can understand his deep sigh, because again, from the VGAs last night, Overwatch
Oh no,
ended up winning.
I heard.
game of the
I heard
year.
from the I heard something about it from the VGAs that made me sigh as well.
Wait, but
Yeah.
hang on. Didn't it win game of the year, but not multiplayer game of the year? Even
No.
though Overwatch is like exclusively multiplayer.
Yes,
Shut
because the genre categories for the VGAs were stupid. Kind of like, here's the best action game of the year. Then right after, here's the best action adventure game of the year. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, action adventure still isn't a genre. This is something that I've been like saying for years. Action adventure is not a fucking genre.
Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no, the big part of the Overwatch shit was when they won like the art direction award, I guess, was when the dev came up and started making Harambe jokes.
Yeah, that was
Okay, why would you?
Mm.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't know what was racing through his mind. Like, okay, what do I say now? What do I do? Ah, yes, do what's expected of me.
The Harambe joke start. That is something that probably got old for you guys really quickly. Yeah, but
Not
it definitely.
really, no.
Oh,
I love Harambe jokes. Please, just tell them for this podcast. It'll
All
make me
right.
such a happy
I'm-
podcast.
I'm gonna upload this podcast and I'm just gonna name it Harambe.
I have to ask you to not do that, please.
okay. I'm not. I won't. But okay. Apart from that, another thing that I've been seeking my time into has been Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Oh shoot!
Oh.
Oh shoot! Well,
Sun mostly, but
that's for later though.
Well, two of us got the right version, and two of us got the.
Oh, tell it like it
yeah,
is.
technically speaking, I got both versions. I just played Sun.
Oh.
So I'm the only one in the wrong here, then.
But
So,
you played the wrong version. No.
it still counts.
Okay, you know what? Mimikyu is in both. They're both right.
I suppose.
That's
Yeah.
not a wrong argument to make.
God, if Mimikyu was in Sun, I'd be dying inside.
I don't know what I do.
That's for later.
Yeah. Pokemon
Yeah.
stuff talk is for later, my friend.
All right, Owen. What about you?
Well, I'm alive. I
Good to
think.
know.
I'm not really sure.
We're
Check
just
the
going.
balls.
We're just
Am
going
I
on the
alive?
estimation that you are.
Okay, let's assume I am. I haven't really done a lot lately. A lot of work takes up a lot of my time. I've had a week off, and guess what I've been doing? And that week off, I've been playing Pokemon. So,
Gotta catch 'em all.
Shrug.
Gotta catch 'em all.
gotta catch them all. I have got my Pokedex up to like 50% or something, so I'm getting there.
Goddamn.
It is a lot easier now to fill the Pokedex up, but whatever.
Yeah,
No Pokemon
yeah.
talk for later.
Yeah, now it's time for Digimon. All right.
Yeah, I talked with Digimon. You give me a Digimon podcast, I'd do it. But
Alright.
I would so be down for doing that, but Ian knows next to nothing about Digimon, so.
well, that's why we have to teach him. Anyway, enough about that. What I was going to say is I've forgotten. So let's get on to whatever we're doing. Oh, that's it. No, fucking Apocalypse comes out in Europe,
Yes.
I think it's already come out in Europe.
and I haven't got it yet, but I will. I'll get it pretty soon, and that's what I'll be doing for the next bit.
Good
So-
shit. Good shit. You gotta keep me up to date on that.
I will.
Oh yes. The promised time is finally here. The apocalypse begins.
Yeah, that's been me. Not much to report on.
I mean, fair the fuck enough. What about you, Mr. KM? It's been a while.
Much like these guys.
Other than the obvious thing, yes.
Most of what I've been playing is Pokemon. When I got on with that, I started playing 15.
It finally came out. It
And now I'm
finally
probably
came
going.
out.
And now I'm probably going to continue doing that for an undisclosed amount of time.
Well, not so much, because I hear the main campaign's like 20 hours long.
Yeah, but apparently, like, there's a shit ton of side content. So.
Oh,
I've heard from one of my friends, like, there's a lot of side quests.
There is a
So-
trophy. There's a trophy for doing 80 side quests. So yes.
I'm
Majora's Mask.
probably gonna do all of it. So
Of course.
not
Well-
much to report on my end.
Good luck for you, man. 15 has been fantastic on my end because all the glitch videos have been hilarious. Seeing the shit like with Noctis's partner like spinning around in the air like a kite is amazing.
My favorite one is where like an in-game cutscene loads while the enemies are like
Yes!
still trying to attack. So like the cutscene just plays and the enemies are like phasing through everywhere.
And they're just acting normally. It's great.
Yes, 10 years.
10 years. Hashtag 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
At least it's not Duke Nukem Forever, right?
Yeah. This one has a somewhat happy ending, which I'll take.
Somewhat, yeah.
All right, so Last Guardian comes out soon.
Oh man.
Oh.
Speaking of the actual new Duke
Doesn't
Nukem Forever.
Bazinga.
Oh my god, the giant monster just looks at the camera and just goes, Bazinga.
Seriously though, like, I mean, say we want about 15, at least they were showing stuff off from it, like, near release.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah,
still know
sure.
anything about Last Guardian besides, like, that first area?
Dude, they're showing
this-
up. It's
I
funny
think-
because, like,
I think they did show off something new recently. Like there were apparently other like little creatures, but that I don't know if they're good or not or whatever.
okay. Yeah,
So,
no, I've only,
I don't
the
think-
only thing I've seen recently of, like, Last Guardian have actually been commercials, shockingly.
There were commercials? Damn, I didn't
They
even know.
have been advertising the game, to give them credit.
If you say so.
Maybe I'm
Yeah,
just not
I know, I'm quite shocked that I even saw one thing from it.
That's gotta be another, interesting release.
Yeah. Not sure how that'll turn out, but we'll see.
Have we ever talked about Kirby Planet Robobot?
Oh, we did. Ian and Ian have talked about it before.
Yeah, we have a Game of the Year boy in here now. It's really good. Just wanted to let you guys know.
It's the best
yeah.
game I've ever played.
Yeah, there it is. Confirmation. It is in fact the best game he's ever played.
Okay, get off Kirby. I'm gonna explode.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
not now. Well, what else,
But,
Cam?
That's about it. But what have you been doing, Ian?
Oh, me quickly just disappears.
Emergency exit.
Oh, no, I need
Puff of
to
smoke
punch
appears
myself now. Shit. Okay, but no. Pokemon, of course. Like that's been the big thing. But other than that, I've been playing through Bloodborne finally. It's the one Souls game, other than Souls 1, that I'm almost nearly done with, as opposed to like when I played a bit of 2 and I wanted to die. When I got through a bit of Demon and I'm like, maybe later. It's been really good. I could see why it is the only game people have on the PS4 now. As opposed to 15 now, I suppose.
Yeah, 15's been the second game, even though it's multi-platform, but no one gives a shit about the Xbox
Who plays the
One version.
Xbox One version? Who owns an Xbox One? No, please tell me.
That's the best part. Everyone I've seen getting like a console for 15, it's always been the PS4.
Yeah. No,
That's
Blood-
just
if I'm not
Better
mistaken,
option.
the PS4 also allows you to like upload directly to like YouTube or Twitter, right?
Yeah.
yeah, with the
not
share
Nick.
feature.
So it's just been a much better way to promote the game as well, even if it is just showing off glitches or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been very fun to go through and showcase all the stupid shit that happens to Bloodborne for that very share feature we just mentioned. I would highly recommend it, especially since like the game itself is like $15 now. It's super cheap. In fact, I'd say the TLC costs way more, even though it's like way overpriced.
Man, it's just like Smash Bros.
No, it ain't Smash Bros. That's no, fucking.
I think I triggered him.
A little.
Oh, I
Yeah,
hate
Souls games always
I
seem to
hate
go to like
TLC.
pretty cheap prices after like you wait a year or two. So
Yeah, thankfully too. It's well worth
Smash
it.
Brothers,
Mm.
the Smash Brothers.
Oh my god, does it work if you do it? It doesn't work if you do it repeatedly.
No, you have to mention DLC in particular.
So how about that clown?
That triggers me, I thought.
Yeah, I think that triggers him more, because I never had to fight Cloud.
hey guys, what about
Shit,
Cold
shut
Corn
up.
though?
Stop talking. I know this is your podcast, but shut up.
He's already taken over. Holy shit. Okay. But other than Bloodborne, I actually sat on my ass to finally watch 2 Netflix series so far. I finished one of them, Stranger Things. It's actually super, super good. A lot shorter than I thought. It's only 8 episodes, and I'm thankful that it's only 8 episodes, because if it was any longer, it would probably drag. And then for that reason, I'm kind of worried on how a season 2 will work, because they did announce that. And the ending they leave it on is kind of like, well, I'm not really sure how you can expand that when your villain team here is kind of just generic evil corporation.
Oh.
I have a comment, but I'll save it for later.
Is it a closed ending or something, or?
It's a horror ending in the sense of like, well, yeah, everything's wrapped up, but some things are still left open.
Oh man,
I can't really spoil that fact, but it's good. If it just ended the way it did, I'd be perfectly fine.
Man, reminds me of that new Code Geass season that got announced that makes me want to kill myself. But anyway, what else did you watch?
Geass? Is it not geese or whatever?
No, it's not.
I always just pronounced it as geese. Geass sounds stupid.
As opposed to like the obvious joke of gay ass.
Fuck. Code Goose. I don't know.
Code Goose.
Right. Off that topic.
Yeah, the show you watched.
I haven't finished it yet, but I've been watching season 1 of Daredevil, and Daredevil has been fucking awesome. It's probably the best thing I've seen from Marvel, as in like the media kind of shit.
I love that
coming
movie.
as a person who doesn't really care much for like the main stuff they do. I'm actually a lot more of a fan of like the really odd characters like Guardians, Ant-Man, and such.
Yeah, I was about to say, because like out of all the MCU movies, my favorite has by far been Guardians of the Galaxy. So.
But to be fair, that's a sentiment most people share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I haven't seen Doctor Strange, but I heard that's been good.
Yeah.
Not so much as like Ant-Man or like Guardians.
It definitely is a good visual experience, if nothing else.
As someone who works in a movie theater, I have heard that it's definitely a movie that came out.
Oh shoot.
Well, that's a statement.
Some people like it, some people really do not.
I see. The controversial Scottish opinion.
I can't say anything because all I've seen is Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And
yeah, I've been wondering what that joke's been about.
And the one scene at the end that, okay, so we gotta clean up these screens every time. Usually, in normal movies, as soon as the credit starts, everyone gets up and walks out.
But this is a Marvel movie, so they have something.
This is a Marvel movie, so they have to stay at the end of the credits. So everyone who works in this place has seen the ending scene to this movie, the after credit scene, about 30 times minimum. So me and someone else in there do a thing now where every time like we have to clean a screen together or we meet up, we just start acting out that scene.
I'm so glad.
It's so bad because it's such a cheesy scene. I wish I could do it in detail, but I guess that's spoilers. I don't know.
We'll call it spoilers for now. That's a shame too.
But oh well. It's the point is it's funny.
Yeah.
If you've seen that scene, you probably know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, that's all I've been up to really. That's the total gist of it until later, of course, when we all jump in for. But yeah. So I'm not sure if there's anything really in the news as of now, because I already kind of talked about the VGAs slightly. All I really need to say about that, as in, let me just get in the shit posts. Wait, what?
Did you talk about the American election? That's news.
Oh shoot!
We gotta time this. Gotta date it.
Gotta date it. You're right. No, we never actually discussed the American election.
I have a better idea.
What?
I have a better. No.
No.
I don't think I don't think the 5 people who watch this podcast watches it for our political opinions.
I think they do.
As a person who I think watches it.
Yeah, I watch all the time. I'm like, when are they going to talk about Donald Trump? Why don't I even bother watching this tripe?
As we talk about Donald Trump, we have the videos of him fighting Spider-Man and Sonic up in the back.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Let's really not talk about that.
Conversation.
I'm so glad that worked. All right.
So, guys, Pokemon, right?
Shoot, I love Pokemon.
What's Pokemon?
It's not Digimon. It's not Bakugan. It's not Card Fight Vanguard.
But it is Yokai Watch.
It is
Yeah,
Yokai Watch. It's a complete Yokai Watch ripoff.
Oh my god, it's a Yokai Watch ripoff. Why?
Why?
Okay, log. Alright, how do we get into this?
Oh, we
so
start with the beginning. How did we all get introduced to Pokemon?
An episode of the anime.
Ha! You silly bitch.
Which one, actually?
Actually, by Butterfree.
Oh, wow. Okay, then.
Huh.
Shockingly, my first episode was very convenient timing, but I'll get into that in a bit.
My
Can't
first
believe it's
episode was the
not
one
Butterfree.
where the two Metapods fight.
That was
I took
one
it
of the-
just...
That's well, I mean, it wasn't how I got introduced. It was just how the first episode of the anime I think I ever watched.
Yeah, the first episode of the anime I caught was actually the first ones.
Yeah, same here.
And I'm
Hey,
like, what's that giant rainbow bird?
You will
Find out until
never
that-
know.
God.
I can't believe they hinted at it for so long.
Well, I mean, cracks my fucking knuckles. Want to talk about how we got into Pokemon. Everyone here, apart from KM, is a baby. Because I played Pokemon Red when I was 4 or 5, I can't remember. But it was one of my first games ever. And I have been a Pokemon fan for as long as I could breathe properly.
Same,
Properly.
actually. I got Pokemon Red and a Game Boy Color as a birthday gift, and I'm pretty sure that was just outright my first video game like ever. So.
Oh, it
It's been-
helped. It
it's been-
helped teach you English, right?
Yep.
The reason this man is able to speak our tongue is because he played Pokemon, people.
It actually helped me speak English, which is great. But yeah, it's been around with me for since I was about little 4-year-old. So
Goddamn.
yeah, it's been a while.
What do you mean?
All
Well-
thanks to Pokemon. It's thanks to Pokemon that we have this. I'm sorry.
It's alright.
It's
I'm
okay.
getting emotional too, don't worry about it.
I brought the tissues. But no, for me, for Pokemon, at the time when I was sent to a daycare center after school, I would have a group of friends that ranged from like elementary to high school who were actually super into Pokemon. They had like Ruby, Sapphire, and my introduction to the series, Fire Red and Leaf Green.
So
Oh.
technically Gen 1.
Technically Gen 1, so I'm technically still A-okay, I guess. Despite the fact that I did start with arguably the inferior version of the game. But no,
Yes.
I do love nostalgically Fire Red so much, and I'm so glad I got into it with my friends. Because, man, watching them play the game through link battles all the time was like the coolest. Because it's like, God damn, I want a team like that! And then I'm like, oh, I really want to battle you guys with my only Pokemon, my level 100 Charizard.
Yeah, that's how we all used to play the game.
I got in-
Pokemon.
I got in kind of far, till they sent in the level 100 Blastoise.
No.
Oh.
So, it's just a slight counter. Slight counter.
I actually remember the first time I played Pokemon Red, and my mum bought it for me, and in the car ride home, see, my mom and my dad live separately, so car ride home, I'm playing, and the first Pokemon I picked was actually Squirtle. I think it's because like, it's the first one I saw, so I'm like, yeah, that one.
Okay.
And I started the battle, and we got out the car. She's like, okay, Owen, we'll keep it in the Game Boy when you're mine. You gotta give me it back. And I'm like, no! I just did my first battle!
Mom!
It went on for like 5-10 minutes, but I eventually used it. And then on my first replay, because I didn't save at all, I just turned it off.
Of
And then I picked
course.
Charmander. So I was saved retroactively, but
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
Charmander was the first one I picked. Made it really difficult to play as a 4-year-old when, like, you picked Charmander in the first 2 gyms or Brock and Misty.
Now, as a kid, the way of getting around that, grind until you get Metal Claw.
Yeah,
Because
see,
then you destroy it.
we did have that back then.
We
so,
didn't have Metal Claw.
Not red and blue.
Fire red. Fire red.
Red. 5.
I mean, if you want a version of Gen 1 with a shitty soundtrack, sure.
Shush!
Enough. Not yet.
Yeah, but no,
Wait till
like
we
going
get to
off
it.
like still on my introduction. As soon as I got Fire Red, Cartoon Network then started the Pokemon series over again, and I was back to the first episode, and that was my introduction, of course, to that. And I'm like, well, Ash is so cool. I'm gonna name my character in all caps Ash.
And I'm gonna name my rival in all caps Poop.
Yeah, oh,
I'm
to say
so
Gary,
glad.
but
Yeah,
That
of
was a
course
very-
I've named the rival Gary because it's like, oh my god, it's Gary.
yeah, I did that.
I named him Poop. I was a very sophisticated child.
I'm
Cool.
very happy though, like later on in my life, when I'm off to like one time I go to a black and white convention and I meet a bunch of people playing black and white at the time that they all just name their trainer Ash too, and I'm like, there you guys go. You're all as bad as me.
Better than Hilbert, I guess.
Ugh, no.
Anyway, so how do we get into this again? I guess we
Review of Gen 1. Whoa.
Gen 1 is how we start. Okay,
Yeah.
Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1. I guess I have a lot of nostalgic bias for Gen 1, but excuse me, I still like it a lot. I think, obviously, it's like the first game, so it's got the simplest plot out of all of them. It's like you beat the gym leaders, you beat the fucking champion, you win, basically.
And you take
Yeah.
down Team Rocket while doing it.
But, you know, I mean, at the same time, that means we can't put overcomplicated garbage into the plot. What could I be talking about? Who knows?
The hints.
And I don't know. You also got introduced to Blue or Gary, or whatever you want to call him. And like, he's the one who introduced the asshole rival thing, which is what everybody considers to be the real kind of rival trope.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Even though the trope like appears less so in Pokemon than the friendly rival, but yeah.
As of this point, yeah.
Yeah. As of like 7 gens in.
I
'Cause
mean,
shockingly, at one point, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
No, TP,
I
go.
think we've had like friendly rivals all throughout since like Gen 3.
Gen 3, yeah.
Yeah, Gen 3.
Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6. And Gen 7 has one too, so yeah.
Gen,
I mean,
Gen se-
You
7
make
is
the
both.
argument that Gen 7 does have, yeah, Gen 7 has both. No.
But yeah, no,
If you wanna
Gen
count
1
it.
is very simple, but like it also doesn't really fuck up because of that. Like,
It's real. I think it's like one of the easiest to get into.
yeah,
Like,
it's such a
easily.
it's such a like pure Pokemon experience.
It's a
you know?
basic 90s RPG at that point.
It's baby's
Yeah.
first RPG.
In fact, you don't even have the special stat split at the moment. You just have one stat called special.
Which
Yeah.
also made psychic types ridiculous.
Yeah, just a bit.
At just a bit. At the time, they were a
The-
force to be
the-
reckoned with. Especially when some schoolyard kid had like entire team of level 100 Mewtwo's.
Mm.
Okay, tell that schoolyard kid to go screw himself.
Honestly. What an asshole.
Honestly. Yeah.
You jerk.
Yeah, I don't know. Gen 1 always like it's so simple, but I just like it a lot. It's such a nostalgic favorite. Like, the music's all good.
I want to say that Gen 1 still has the best gym leader theme to date.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, in some regards, Gen 1 still has some of the best music in the franchise. It's that iconic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot of it, but there are hardly any tracks in Gen 1 that are bad, save for like the cave theme.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah, they're quite annoying.
The
Yeah,
theme
like-
of nightmares.
Like, if there's one thing I do give about Gen 1's design, it's like, those caves, not great.
I don't even. I'm not. I don't mind the caves that much, but see, like, one Mansion, Seafoam Islands, both of those can go straight to hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
thank-
Pokemon
thankful-
Mansion is disgusting.
Mercifully, Seafoam Islands is optional, but yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that as a child.
Yeah, as a kid, you're like, oh, I have to go through here if I want to get out the other side, right? And as a kid, you don't realize, wait, those rocks are there. I can't get by. Oh no.
speaking of that, HMs are great.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Especially in Gen 1, where there wasn't a move deleter.
Man, let me tell you, going back to Gen 1 right after finishing Sun and Moon was the strangest thing, because I'm like, wait, I don't have any ride Pokemon. I have to get an HM Slave again. Oh no.
You see, I was kind of a reverse. I finished Pokemon Yellow like the night I got Pokemon Sun and Moon,
Oh shit.
and it was a freaking midnight release. So you know,
Damn. Must be quite a shift then through.
it was quite the shift, but not too much of a shift because Pikachu was still there.
He's still there. He's a little less chubby, but...
We're going to talk about versions. Pokemon Yellow is clearly the best of the three. Because you get a
Easily.
Pikachu behind you, and some people, I don't know, everybody wants to clamor for the Pokemon behind you thing again, and I'm like, yeah, I would like that a lot, and then you've got other people like, actually it's stupid and I don't want it, and shut up, and it's like, oh, I guess
I
we're
don't know,
getting...
I really like it because it gives you the sense that you're, traveling with your Pokemon.
You're
And
traveling
then
with your partner in crime.
People start to argue for no reason, and it's like,
Especially if your partner in crime just so happens to be a legendary or something.
oh my god, yeah, well,
It's
Hilarious.
wait until Gen 4.
Yeah.
But I like Pikachu's all his little sprites. You could talk to him at any point. You could see what his happiness was.
I love the fact that you could see his growth of the portraits and he becomes so happy, and it has like the greatest sound bites. Because all the other Pokemon are just like little roars and such, but then when you send out Pikachu, it's like Pika!
And that takes up most of the cartridge.
Of course.
But fucking, what would you say?
I mean, the only thing I really the only thing you can really give against Pokemon Yellow is that because Pikachu doesn't get any special moves that can actually deal damage to Brock, the first gym can be seen as like more difficult. But on the other hand,
get a
you have,
Nidoran.
Nidoran male gets double kick earlier on. Mankey exists.
I don't think Mankey was in that route in like Red and Blue. Like I think they specifically added Mankey in Yellow there because they knew like Pikachu.
I mean, if anything, Yellow's encouraging you now, like, hey, listen, the thing with, like, level 100s, no, go get another Pokemon. Just for this, maybe, but go on, get it.
Another good way of them encouraging you is that they literally give you all the starters in Yellow, which is so nice.
That being said, I somehow managed to get through Brock without using any other Pokemon.
Yeah, me too. I had a level 26 Pikachu.
I had like level 13 or so.
Well, good for you.
That fucking determination of the little Yi child who's like, no, I want to beat him with Pikachu!
Yeah, determination, potions, all that good shit.
Eat the potions.
Make Pikachu even fatter.
Little chubby rat.
I like the little fat Pikachu.
Honestly, fat Pikachu's still my favorite.
I also kind of like this my most recent playthrough of Yellow because I tried to go for Pokemon apart from Charizard I normally never use because I never use Dodrio. I mean Dugtrio sometimes, but not necessarily to the same extent as other Pokemon. I never use. I for some bizarre reason I don't use Lapras all that often. Probably
I'm a
because
beautiful
I get
creature.
Yeah, I named my Lapras after Ian. And then because I knew someone in real life who also had like one of the eShop games, one of the eShop Red and Blue and stuff, I managed to get it. I decided to get an Alakazam.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool that they did that for like trading.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't just. I'm glad they didn't just, like make it completely inaccessible and just make it impossible to do freaking trading with.
Yeah, they didn't just straight up just dump the ROM on the 3DS.
Can't you transfer those Pokemon into Sun and Moon?
I think.
Yeah, I think the update for that hasn't come out yet, though.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know it will happen someday, which is really something I'm looking forward to.
I just don't get how it works because, like, I'm pretty sure, like, you
I don't know how
trade Pokemon from like Gold and Silver up to Ruby and Sapphire because, like, the original 2 gens used a different like value system compared to the IVs and EVs we got in Ruby and Sapphire.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but
And it's like, okay, so how the fuck is this gonna work then?
they're gonna find a way. They're gonna
They'll
find
find
a
a
way.
way.
They'll find a way, of course. Yeah, no, it's the funny thing with Pokemon Yellow is that actually I went into that straight after I finished Fire Red because my dad ended up having like a copy of that in Blue, and I'm like, well, I want Yellow. It has
Well,
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Absolutely.
Also, just a quick question: who here just has Pikachu on their team the entire time?
Me.
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 Yeah, me obviously. Like, if you remove Pikachu from
You
In
might
Pokemon Yellow, then what are you doing?
honestly
You
in
might-
Yellow. I generally have like the same team every time. Like I have Pikachu. I always use the free starters because it's like,
yeah,
why you give
of
them to me?
course.
And I always have a Nidoking. Only the last Pokemon takes the switch.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me, to be honest.
Not too far off. Only difference
usually,
difference is I sometimes might use Gyarados instead.
my
Like,
last Pokemon in Yellow tends to be Kabutops nowadays. If
Ooh,
only
Kabutops
because
good.
if only because it's got high speed, your swords beam, your high
Swords
speed
beam?
swords. Sorry, I'm sorry, I can't speak English. Swords and hyper beam.
I want a new move in Pokemon like Gen 8 called Swords Beam, please.
That sounds cool.
It charges up its attack and then it just murders the other Pokemon.
I love Legend of Zelda. Anyway, another thing I wanted to mention about Gen 1 is like I really do like Team Rocket as a villain team because they're just the Mafia, and it's so, especially when you compare it to what some of the later games go for. They're so like
they're
refreshingly
simple,
simple.
Simple but effective.
Yeah,
It's just
very
the
much
Mafia, and that's great.
Oh,
And
well,
hey,
I would say one thing: they don't get their own theme.
Yeah,
That makes me salty.
yeah,
I
just a
think they'd have
little.
I think they'd have a great one too. But no, I think like one of the highlights is still when you're off to like finally off to the 8th gym in the game and you realize the 8th gym leader is Team Rocket's boss.
Yeah,
That
I
was
do
a great twist.
Yeah, like even though Gen 1 has a simple plot, it manages to pull off at least like two little twists that are really neat.
Then you're like, oh my god, they really do own everything.
So like,
Then-
that's cool.
Then you beat his ass, and then that leads to Gen 2 shit.
Which, do you want to get into like the side games of Gen 1 before we
Yeah,
get to Gen
sure.
2? Or,
Yeah,
or okay.
If you want.
Sure, you guys can talk about that real quick. Gen 1 side games I'm not very familiar with, honestly.
Okay.
baby!
I've played a good amount of Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap. Why did we never get that Wii U sequel? That is something that would have sold the
Switch
system.
sequel, come on!
No.
Like, the Switch would be perfect for that.
I never had a Nintendo 64, but my friend did. Or it was one of my relatives. God, I can't even fucking remember. But I always used to go over to their house and I'd play Pokemon Snap endlessly, and that was like the most fun I had as a child.
Pokemon Snap I experienced sadly much
Yeah.
later on through like the Wii Virtual Console.
You know, I only experienced it for the Wii Virtual Console as well, so I don't have quite the fun memories that a lot of other people do have of it. But I think it's still, like, even now, a genuinely fun little game.
It's surprisingly a lot of fun, despite the fact that it's basically it's like one of the most simple
photography.
games, and I don't even like. It's taking photographs, and they somehow made it fun.
Yeah, because all the Pokemon are, like, move around their little habitats, they have, like, little animations they can
But
do. It's just really charming and fun.
That's why I want a sequel, because they have so many more Pokemon now.
And with
Yeah.
and with technology having advanced so much, there's so much more we can do with it.
You can make them do so many cool things, and if you keep the small secrets of each individual Pokemon to get through like different routes and such, that'd be amazing. Especially now that we have like online sharing through the network, and we can just
Exactly.
share our stupid little pictures.
Yes.
It'd be
Not to
great. I'm shocked they haven't done that unless they're like developing the greatest Pokemon picture game of all time that's going to blow your fucking 4K TVs out of the goddamn house.
Melting PS4 Pros left and right.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because Pokemon Snap 2 would be in the PS4 Pro, of course.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man.
It would be so powerful, it will destroy other systems.
Yeah, it's funny, for the longest time, I always thought that everyone hated Pokemon Snap. Because I remember
Really?
watching these stupid videos that go, Pokemon Snap kind of sucks because you're not battling Pokemon, you're taking pictures. It's like, oh, what? Come on.
Was that gaming by the Clinton years by any chance? Because it sounds like that.
I don't know who you're referring to.
You ever heard of gaming in the Clinton years?
No.
No, never heard of that one. Wait, quick, nudge,
We
nudge,
could have
moving
had-
on.
Well, I mean, there's not much I can say about Pokemon Stadium. Like,
It's basically
battle.
just an extension of Pokemon. Like, it's basically just the main games, and
And if
I
you
do
don't
kind of
have
like-
your own cartridge, then you can't beat it because
yeah.
no, you can. It's just gonna be really, really difficult.
I refuse to play that game without my own Pokemon.
I was gonna say you can beat it, but like, the process of doing it might as well just be you can't do it.
The process might as well be look it up online.
Yeah, of course.
I guess.
Like that and the sequel are just like simple little battlers, but I like a lot of the battle challenges they give
You
you,
play them for the mini games,
and they've got some pretty fun mini games.
which
so,
apparently weren't
Pikachu.
even in the original version of the game until
No,
they
the-
released it in America.
yeah,
Thank God.
Yeah,
and
there was a Pokemon Stadium before the one we got, which was actually Pokemon Stadium 2 to them, and apparently it was fucking terrible.
it only
Nice.
had like 60 Pokemon. Like
And
pretty
apparently
much
it was absurdly difficult.
Yeah.
It was like only all the full evolutions and Pikachu.
Yeah, it was
Pikachu,
pretty
of
much
course.
like a competitive battling simulator, which competitive battling Gen 1. Yeah.
Yeah, you say that there is a legitimate scene.
There,
Which
there
shocks me.
is. And surprisingly, outside of outside of Mewtwo and Mew, the most dangerous Pokemon is Tauros.
Yep.
Really? Tauros?
Yeah,
High attack, high speed, which pretty much guarantees crits, and
Crits.
Hyper Beam.
Oh shoot.
And if you kill a Pokemon with Hyper Beam, you don't get the recharge turn.
That's why I
Right.
always use Kabutops.
exactly.
Okay.
Kabutops has a little niche because it can actually do, I forget why, but the rock helps.
Yeah,
It's not immediately weak to water. So,
of course.
But
I mean,
not much
still
else to
screwed
say
by
on Gen 1
grass,
for
but-
me.
I will say that the most I've ever played of any of the N64 games was actually with my parents because they're really into puzzle games. So of course we play Pokemon Puzzle League.
I have never played that game.
It's
No, me
actually really fun. It's just
Oh,
a really
I-
fast-paced Tetris.
I played the Gen 2 one for Game Boy, and I
Yeah,
really
me
like
too.
that one.
That was really good.
I
Yeah.
briefly.
I
played
never
that
got to
one.
play that one.
You should. It's really fun.
Oh shoot. If I recall
And
correctly, it has a really good remix of like one of the champion themes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
really good.
All right. Well, that's something I'm going to probably listen to later. Also, the GBA trading card game.
Oh, you're right. I did
Oh,
play
yeah.
that one. I did play that one. It's actually really good.
Yeah,
It's really hard.
It's by far the most difficult Pokemon Game Boy game, but
Was the trading card game part of Gen 1?
yeah, the
Oh,
trading card
yeah.
game like video game is
Okay.
part of Gen 1.
I mean, unless you want to use the freaking computer app,
no.
in which case,
No.
fuck you, Night March
I'll
Dex.
stick to my dumb Game Boy game.
Please.
But yeah, that's a really good like little underrated gem.
Yeah. I mean, I hear it's good. As a person who never actually really got into the trading card game, like, at points I would just randomly collect the cards because I like the art.
Fair
But I
enough.
would never ever play the actual game.
I think that's
No.
what I did a lot as well. I just wanted to get all the shiny cards and stuff.
It was like the deal with Yu-Gi-Oh! As well at the time. You just give me the cards.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me about Yu-Gi-Oh, please.
I'm sorry.
So, do we go to the next generation now?
Yeah,
Might as well.
Yeah, like
To
not
sum
much
it all
else
up,
to-
Gen 1's a solid start.
Yeah, not much to say because it's
It's
such a
definitely
simple
a-
little game, but it's good. I like it.
It's not perfect. We all know, there are like a bunch of glitches. There's a glitch to get Mew. There's a glitch to get
There's missing no.
Well, that's
Yeah,
kind of
it
to be
is, like-
expected for like a starting point.
Yeah, starting point on the GBA no less.
On the GBA.
With an But Gen 2. Gen 2. Let's
Gen
start.
2.
Yeah.
Gen
Gen
2.
Mm,
Gen 2.
Gen 2, Gen 2.
Gen
Gen
2.
Gen 2.
Gen 2. I
It's alright.
fucking love this generation.
Like,
Like,
I know I've said...
legitimately, Gold, Silver, and Crystal were pretty much the only games I ever played from ages, like, 5 to 8. It's
God
all
damn.
I played. Literally all I played.
So I assume you
I
like maxed out the time, right?
Yeah.
I can't exactly say I was like that because I remember playing a lot of Yellow as well during that time. But it's not like I'm saying that as like something against Gen 2. Like, I know I've said previously on my Twitter that I think of it as the least of the generations, but even then I still think highly of Gen 2 because Gen 2 did introduce a lot of stuff that, if nothing else, were improved upon a lot in later generations and had a lot of cool ideas and had a lot of cool stuff. Like,
Had a lot of cool Pokemon.
Yeah.
there's okay, if you don't have Ampharos on your team, what is wrong with you? Unless you're playing Crystal, in which case, what is wrong if you play Gold or Silver?
Okay. Anyway.
There's also Caesar, there's Steelix, there's what else? Freaking kind of a derby one, but Dunsparce, that one
I love
Dunsparce!
I love Dunsparce. Fucking
The destroyer of worlds. Give him a final
and
evolution.
I like how it's an actual sequel. Like, that's something we don't really like get.
That's something that
Gen
never
5.
happens again.
Like,
Well,
Gen 5
besides one specific one.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's something that never happens again, and it's really cool because like I'm pretty sure everyone knows about it by this point. But like you beat the game, and then it's just you get to go to Kanto after that, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking great.
And that was something that was that might have been like a last minute addition thanks to Iwata.
Yeah.
Yeah, he completely did it on his own, right?
Yeah, and it's so cool.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely not as old. Like, there's not as much to do in Kanto, especially when compared to the original games. But at the same time,
I wouldn't really expect that though. Like, honestly,
maybe that was my problem. I kind of expected I might have expected a little too much out of Kanto.
I'll say one thing that I guess I won't expand on until later, but that was my fucking issue with the remakes, because they absolutely could make Kanto better, but they didn't.
I was going to say.
I feel like they did make Kanto better, just not by.
Yeah, it definitely feels like more could have been done there.
I guess you can say that.
But
I can't say I dislike what still changed in the remakes.
All right. What do you want to say?
I just want to say I would like Gen 2 a lot more if, one, the difficulty wasn't stupidly like, oh my god, why are the Pokemon all so low?
There's a reason that was the first one my parents beat.
Why can't I grind anywhere? And two, oh my god, Team Rocket make the most lackluster return ever.
In Gen 1, like, they were the Mafia, and they were fine. Gen 2, they're
calling for daddy.
Yeah, they're calling... that is basically their entire...
Them being so shitty is, like, kind of the point, but at the same time, oh my god, it leads to the worst fucking part of the game, which is, like, the whole radio tower shit.
Like, okay, some people tell me the plot, the story of Gen 2 is so much better than Gen 1, and I'm like, what's the difference? It's the same thing. You go through 8 fucking gym leaders, you beat the champ. There's a villain team in there somewhere. Don't ask me where.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, there's a villain team.
They're
and you go for Kanto. There are, like, Pokemon, starting from Gen 3, Pokemon games get stories, but Gen 2 does not have one.
Yeah. The highlight of Gen 2 in any form of story or characters is your rival.
Yeah, the one thing I would say that, like, elevates Gen 2 above Gen 1 in terms of story would just be the rival.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
Because his development's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but back to Rocket. Hey, don't you remember its boss, Rocket Executive?
Yeah, Rocket
Team
Executive
Rocket
Mail.
Executive
the main
Mail.
villain of Gen 2.
I think they gave it a name in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I
And it
think
didn't
was
really
Rocket.
make matters much better.
But at least it was something. The thing here is, they finally gave Team Rocket like a villainous team like theme song when you battle them, and I'm like, oh, that's great. But then when you battle the bosses, it just plays the normal trainer theme, and I'm
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, what?
It's this weird thing of like, just because they're a different trainer class, they get like associated with the regular battle theme, and it's
So-
really weird.
So does that mean the executive is a chain below the Team Rocket grunts?
I don't.
In terms of the
yes.
music, yeah.
I mean, in terms of the battles, they're honestly not much above him, but you know.
It's also like what I don't understand when people complain about Pokemon games being linear, because this one of the games that gives you a choice of where to go. There's one point after the fourth gym rather, where you can go left or right.
It
And
doesn't
the problem
matter.
is, both sides are equally difficult. So that's fine for your first side, but then you go to the other one and you're extremely overlapped.
You're just
everything.
bulldozing right through it.
So, like, all this...
Oh,
fucking-
and
It also leads to this weird problem where the gym leader that's considered the 7th gym leader has lower level Pokemon than the one that's considered the 6th gym leader.
It's this fucking illusion of choice. It just it fucks the difficulty. They can't do anything about it. Maybe they
What's
could if it
more-
was designed differently, but
Yeah.
What's more, if you decide to go right, you can get yourself a level 30 Gyarados for like free. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
shiny, so
insane.
there's more incentive to catching it than just it's a Gyarados.
That's the
You
only
know,
reason I can
already a
think
good
of
Pokemon.
why anyone would go right, though. Because I always kind of looked at the map and it's like, well, the left end at least ends somewhere, so let's go left.
I mean, there's definitely a lot more incentive to go left. Like, you get Fly as well, and you can probably just use Fly to fly back to Ecruteak, and then go, like, especially if you know what's coming ahead, like, you can go left to get Fly, then go right
that
to
is so fucking.
to get the Gyarados and defeat
And
and do all the Mahogany Town shit, and then beat Jasmine because Felix is level 35. Why are you higher level than Price?
That's so fucking ass backwards though.
it's
Yeah.
like I get a lot of people who use that as an example of why Gen 2 is still the Master Race superior, and then proceed to immediately complain that Gen 5 is the most linear game ever, and I'm like, fuck off.
I don't understand what the problem with linearity in Pokemon is.
Yeah,
Pokemon
like,
is
what is
always
it an issue?
linear, it's a thing.
Like,
Like,
you can maybe say
like Gen 5 pretty much just like cut the fat. Like it's like Pokemon is always generally linear.
Except at
always
this one
going
point where you
from
can go left
point-
or right.
You're
Yeah.
always going
That's the
from
game no
point
matter
A
what.
to point B, you beat the gyms, and you get
Even-
to the
even-
champion.
even with the left and the right, you have to go both ways eventually.
Exactly. So who
So not like
cares?
it even matters.
Like, you can
Yeah.
make the argument of you can make the adventure a little more I guess you can make your adventure a little different, but
Varied, but even then,
Yes.
even then, that's what you have
It's-
teams
it's-
for. That's what you
like,
have.
I would say sure it would be more varied, but the distance between like left and right to the next town is like a centimeter, so not like it even matters.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, I really, don't get me wrong, especially with the Kanto stuff, it's really getting to fight your trainer from the, like, he's the super boss, your trainer from the last game, that's
And
fucking
that's-
cool.
It's a cool moment. Like, I really like aside from the fact that it being a bit more open is like dumb. I really like Johto as a region.
Yeah.
I love Gen 2 soundtrack. It's such a
pretty
good
good.
fucking.
I love
Like,
the Pokemon.
The,
I love the Pokemon.
the roll, the victory roll, just started playing in my head for some reason.
And the victory road is barren and empty.
No,
Yeah,
not,
I was
no,
gonna
not victory roll. Just like Route 26 and Route.
Oh yeah,
just,
That's a good song.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's really good. I don't know, I definitely have my complaints with Gen 2, but no, I love it. I've
Yeah,
I've got
I
so
haven't
many
played
memories
both.
with that game. It's
I clocked in 532 hours in Chris.
The thing with me with Gen 2 is that originally, like, after finishing Pokemon Yellow for the first time, I immediately being like, "Yo, Dad, you got Gen 2?" He's like, "Yes, here you go." And he gives me his copy of Crystal, and I'm like, "Oh my god." But thing
let me
is,
guess.
the battery's dead on it,
The
so
battery's
I
dead.
can't
Yeah.
save on it, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
So for the longest time, I'd have to wait till the remakes to fully play Gen 2.
that reminds me of like I got fucking Sonic Battle on eBay once, and the cartridge that came like Sonic Battle's supposed to autosave, but this one just doesn't.
So
Oh.
you had to leave the
It-
game on to fully
Yeah,
complete it.
in order to beat it, I just had to leave the game on overnight. And I'd always I just keep it there because I really liked my custom character, and I really I loved all the moves I got. I loved the entire everything I unlocked. And then I got so upset when one day I forgot to plug it in overnight. It's like,
Oh.
oh god!
Man, that game gets bullshit too, so I would just walk away from it at points. The fact that you can't even turn it off.
But then I got another copy that could save, so it's all good.
Alright. Woo!
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
again,
Really
like, I
never-
just wanted to mention with, like, Crystal, I would eventually go back to it because I did end up buying my own copy of the game. And I'd play through it that way, after finishing the remakes, of course, just to see how it was. And despite, like, really preferring the remakes in the end for what they ended up adding to the formula, I'd still absolutely loved Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those just timeless games that you could just easily go back to at any
I-
point. It's so
I feel-
simple.
I feel like Gen 2 of Pokemon is like probably the best an 8-bit game has aged like ever.
Yeah. I want to talk though. I want to talk about Pokemon almost all. I can't say always anymore because Gen 6 happened, but almost always introduces a third version, which is usually the definitive version you got to pick up.
Mhm.
Not in this case, bro.
Crystal, on the other hand, just seems like the same. Never,
Yeah.
not really anything added. You get to fight Suicune, which you could in the other games anyway.
Well, this time it doesn't run away.
Yeah, I guess.
It's
That
kind
does
of
run
story
away.
related, I suppose.
And this time there's Yusin, who is there. He is a trainer. That is
Get
about
it?
it.
His name's Suicune backwards.
Also, it's almost the inferior version for one reason and one reason alone. You can't
can't
catch
get
Mareep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's... Again, why? Why?
I forget. Did Gold and Silver have a girl trainer in them, or was that added in Crystal?
That was
No,
added in
not in
Crystal.
Crystal.
That-
So I
that's-
suppose if you want to play as a girl, Crystal's your version.
Yeah.
If you want that really slight difference, there you go.
Preference.
I like Chris's design. It's weird she didn't come back for the remix and instead
Yeah,
he added Lyra.
right?
Speaking of the remakes,
I mean, speaking of the remakes, we talk about them. We talk about Gen 4.
Yeah.
oh, do we? Okay.
That's
Yeah,
why.
okay.
That's why I haven't been talking nearly as much as you guys.
Okay, so onto the Gen 2 side games. Now onto Gen 3.
Damn.
God damn!
We mentioned
What about Pokemon Pinball?
TP
That was
fucking
Gen 1.
slays. Was that Gen 1? We forgot to talk about Pokemon.
I didn't play Pokemon. I played the Gen 3 one, but not the Gen 1 Pokemon.
Yeah, the Gen 3.
Pinball.
Yeah, I played the Gen 3 one as well.
Okay, on to Gen 3.
Yeah, because we already mentioned both Gen 2 side games in Gen 1. So,
But Stadium 2.
Moving on to Gen 3.
They're basically...
okay.
Anyways, Gen 3 just...
Oh boy.
I gotta be honest. Wasn't terribly into those as a kid. Like, I still really liked them, but never really grabbed me the same way as Gen 1 and 2 did.
It's honestly the opposite for me. When I was a kid, Pokemon Emerald was my favorite game by far.
As a kid though, like at first I didn't play the others. Gen 3 was my shit. I fucking adored those games to death. Like I absolutely loved my copy of Ruby for the longest time, and it sucked when I eventually lost my copy. Because as a stupid little kid who doesn't keep his GBA games together, they eventually fall out, and then oops!
I think I still have my Pokemon Sapphire.
Yeah, I still have my copy, thankfully.
The only copy of like a Gen 3 game I still have would be Pokemon Emerald, which thankfully, yes, is the better version in this case.
I was a stupid child and sold all my Pokemon games when I was like 13.
I'm too
Aw.
old for Pokemon.
That's what I said!
Now look at me.
Now look at me buying everything related to Pokemon.
I never bought into that.
Never had this crisis.
Yeah, no, I never sold my Pokemon stuff.
My parents were initially going to be like, you might be getting a little too old for Pokemon. Then it just became accepted.
Yeah, my dad said the same thing. He's like, isn't that too old for... Aren't you too old to be playing that? I'm like, no.
No, not at all. And then no, it's the best thing. My mom at one point goes, "Aren't you too old to play Pokemon?" I'm like, "No, you want to play?" She's like, "Sure." And then I corrupted them all. Now they all play it, and it's the best.
God.
And Gen 3 helped me introduce
they-
them to like Pokemon because I just let my copy of Fire Red to my mom. She played through that, and she ended up being that. And then, of course, she got through like the remix of Silver and Gold. And it's just history there. They've played the rest, and now they're playing Sun and Moon.
I mean, my parents aren't exactly like that, but they are far more accepting of just Pokemon. Like,
Yeah,
especially after
same.
Pokemon Go, but that's for later.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. But yeah, about the Gen 3 games themselves. I'm assuming like you three liked them more than I did, so you guys take it.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
suddenly been handed the mic.
Well, let me take the stage, my
what
brother.
about me?
Don't get
down.
get down, TP.
I mean, I don't think. I think it was kind of disappointing initially that you couldn't trade from the Gen 2 games. Like you could trade from Generation 2, like 1 to Generation 2, assuming your Pokemon were from Gen 1 in
Why do
Gen
you
2
think?
games.
Why do you think they made Fire Red and Leaf Green?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But initially it was kind of disappointing, but then it just kind of got.
When you really
better.
think about it, they didn't make Fire Red and Leaf Green to remake Gen 1. They only made it so you could just catch all the Pokemon.
Honestly.
Yeah, it would have showed up Pokemon were the biggest problem though in Gen 3.
Yeah, because you just can't catch them, and that's why their sprites for the most part are kind of awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I still really like Gen 3. It has its issues like every other Pokemon game does, except Gen 5. But
No bias.
Okay.
no bias at all.
Yeah.
What I liked that it did, especially as a kid, and it wasn't so graceful, but it did introduce a story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The evil team,
It had a very legit dual evil team going on.
a dual evil, I still think it's one of the coolest things they've done.
Yes.
2 evil teams, depending on the version you get, and then that makes the third version, Emerald, amazing because you fight both of them.
They're connected now, and
Oh
it's
my
like
God,
this huge plot.
As a kid, that was the fucking greatest thing I'd ever experienced. I'm like, what? I have to fight both of them?
But I mean, because of that kind of gimmick, and for the fact that the remakes later on improved upon just the character alone of the teams, they
Yes.
still rank real high up for me. I love Team Magma especially.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
gotta admit, I never really cared for them too much, like in the original games, but man, I fucking love them in the remakes.
I love coming to see fucking music wise. I think they have some of the best grunt themes we got,
Yeah.
especially even the leader themes. Oh my god!
It's great. It's intimidating. The way it starts up, it's like, oh, now you messed with the wrong guy.
But before, I mean, okay, gold and silver, and we brushed over this, and I don't blame us because who fucking cares? You can catch the legendary Pokemon on the boxes.
They're
But
very unrelated to everything, though.
Yeah,
but
even the remix did not do a very good job of implementing them in this.
you just kind of shoved them in there.
But here, the version you get, and this starts a fucking trend, of course. But the version you get depends on the legendary Pokemon you get, and that affects the story.
Mm-hmm.
Team
Team
fucking hell, I
Magma
can't
wants to
speak.
get
Team
Grout.
Magma is caused trying to get
Team-
Groudon has caused an insane drought going on with the sun, and then with Team Aqua and Sapphire, they're trying to catch Kyogre, and that causes a crazy thunderstorm and rain. It won't rain. It's nonstop. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the weather was introduced in Gen 2. This made weather actually relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
They made a Pokemon entirely around weather.
That's the one thing I really did like about in Gen 3 when the legendary Pokemon is unleashed and there's actually just a part of the region that's just fucking covered in the weather effect.
No,
Mhm.
they do. It's weird. The rivals in this game are a bit messed up. You get the other playable character. Like, you select the boy or the girl, and the other gender is your rival. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, but I'm using air quotes.
Yeah,
And for the,
might as well just be friends.
and for the longest time until Gen 6, they were the worst fucking rival in the series.
Yeah, they don't really do a lot, and they fight you about 3 times, and that's it. They don't even fully evolve their Pokemon. There's also Wally, who is technically your rival, but you fight him twice. It's not really expanded upon in the original games. The remakes do
Which is why the remakes make me go fucking yo when Wally shows up the second time.
It always felt like Wally should have just been the rival, but then you've got Brandon or May, and it's just really weird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shame too, they got a good theme.
But
Yeah.
fucking, what was I going to say? And in the third version, in Ruby and Sapphire, after that you've beat the champ and all that, there's this hidden area in the game called Sky Tower. If you can stand going up that fucking thing.
Ah,
Oh my god, the bicycle puzzles are horrible. But you get to the
Pitfalls.
top and there's this big green fucking alien looking motherfucker. And it's the third legendary in the trio, also starting a trend.
Yeah.
And in Ruby and Sapphire, he is there.
He's there, but you don't know anything about him. But then, of course,
in Emeralds,
expanded.
first off with Emerald, it's so much the bike puzzles are significantly reduced.
Thank God.
Thank fucking God. Because, yeah, you gotta go there to, the main story at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
they just
nearly
get rid
as
of it, in
annoying.
fact. But, yeah, and obviously Emerald focuses on Rayquaza, and he's the big bad boss of the trio who just shouts at Kyogre and Groudon and tells them to stop.
Stop it!
Oh,
And-
Yeah. And then you can catch it.
You can
It's level 70 still.
you can catch a level 70 Rayquaza in your Master Ball before the story ends, and oh my god, you don't need any other Pokemon after that.
Rayquaza is legitimately one of my favorite Pokemon.
Big Noodle Dragon is great.
Big
Yeah.
Noodle Dragon, who's got that big dumb smile on his face, is easily one of my favorite legendaries.
Oh, no doubt.
Which leads into the fact that I just really love a lot of Gen 3's Pokemon.
Gen 3 probably had the strongest Pokemon lineup, I'd argue. Starting off with the fact that unlike pretty much any other game, I love all the starters all the way through.
Yeah,
Yes.
all the starters
yeah.
are fantastic. Even up to their final evolution, which you just barely ever see.
I know I have this huge bias towards Trico, but really any of the starters work. Any of them. Literally all of them.
Yeah, Trico's still my favorite starter in general.
Swampert is my favorite Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. As a kid, I grew a massive attachment to Swampert.
I love Trico.
Yeah, this was just one of the best generations for starter Pokemon, and just a good generation in general.
For the Pokemon in general, yeah.
It also gave 2 pseudo legendaries, and Metagross is easily my favorite.
It's one of the few gens to give you a pseudo legendary that isn't a dragon, and I kind of wish
Although it also gives you a dragon.
Yeah.
It also gives you a dragon, but it also gives you something that isn't a dragon.
Yeah, and I kind of wish you got more pseudo legendaries in the veil of Tyranitar and Metagross, but whatever.
Yeah.
Gojira.
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 One thing I will say about Gen 3 that I don't like as much is Gen 3 has this really weird thing where the compositions for the music are really good,
Yeah.
but the
It's the fault of the hardware to give it full credit, but yes.
Yeah, that's why the remixes in the remake are amazing.
Which are fantastic.
but in the originals didn't really like the music.
I'll be
Particular-
honest, I have utter nostalgia for it, and I know it's bad at points, but I can't help it. I adore those trumpets.
They did a really cool thing when you were fighting Groudon or Kyogre in the remakes, and they'd
They
like,
incorporate the original GBA theme. And
yeah, they kind of fade in at points.
I liked the fact that they did that a lot of points, but later on.
yeah.
What
I
else?
also didn't like the region as much as the other two.
They had too much. No.
Ah. Got you.
But I guess like you did get there was quite a bit of water at the end, and it just kind of blended in. I mean,
Yeah.
at least they gave you multiple ways to traverse the water with the ability to dive.
The diving stuff was really cool, I thought. And I thought the Reggies, the Reggie Ice, Regirock, Registeel still remain the most cryptic ass Pokemon to get to date.
Hey kids, you want to learn Braille?
Hey, our guy here did it.
I did it. I learned the Braille alphabet just to get those Pokemon. Of course, I don't know anything about it now because that was like 10 years ago. But I still
Yeah.
did it.
Goddamn.
It's just weird. Like, yeah.
No, I was just gonna quickly say before we moved on to Regice that the thing I really liked about the region, honestly, was like at the time, Pokemon towns weren't exactly varied in like how they looked because of the limited hardware of the Game Boy. But now with the
Yeah.
GBA, I like how different they can be. Like with the more of a mountainous setting, a more like jungle treehouse kind of deal. One that
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
find by
bring that
literally
one up.
going under the water and then coming back up, and oh my god, it's a little city around like the mountains. That's great.
Yes.
So because of that, it sticks out more to me, I'd say, and along with the weather patterns, that just kind of enhances the feel of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually, maybe this is unpopular. I would put Gen 3 above 1 and 2 for me.
I would. Gen 3 means a lot to me, personally, despite the fact of how much I do love Gen 2.
Because I'm a person who considers remake in the same like gen as the originals, I put Gen 3 above 1. I have so like I can admit a lot of why I put 2 up so high is because of nostalgic bias, but yeah, no, just Gen. I do think, especially with the remakes, Gen 3 was an overall better experience than 1 at least.
Yeah. Although I love 1. I can't
Yeah.
stress that enough. I do
Well,
love
we
Generation
haven't
1 of
reached
Pokemon.
regions we haven't reached generations we don't actually like quite yet.
So yeah, I think that covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and like I wanted to quickly mention Fire Red and Leaf Green, despite its shortcomings as like a remake of the first gen. It's like the
I
first time
don't
they ever
like it.
did something like that, and yes, I can understand it completely upon replaying it,
I-
especially.
I feel like a lot of the charm is gone. I think they outright, like, aside from the champion theme, I think they outright make the soundtrack worse.
Or are we
Yeah.
talking about?
It's their
are we talking
fucking
about Fire Red,
hardware,
Leaf Green
man.
now?
Yeah, Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Imagine if they remade it today.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
that would be a lot better.
I think they should totally do like an actual legit remake. Because again, like I'm saying, the only reason that Fire Red and Leaf Green exists is because of the time for trading the other regions to
And
get the
yeah.
other Pokemon. That is the only reason it is a thing.
The remakes themselves they don't add.
They don't
much
do
of
anything.
They add the islands, which suck.
They add the islands. They're really bad.
They're shit.
They're actually terrible.
Like,
But the only
like
thing,
my-
the only reason that I'd say that people would prefer Fire Red Leaf Green to the original gen is because they do add Gen 3 mechanics, which are a lot more refined than Gen 1 mechanics.
yeah, but I don't know.
The only reason
What?
I keep going back to it is because again, it was my first Pokemon game,
Like,
so I have a nostalgic attachment to it despite its shortcomings.
like I think I think recently, like the last playthrough I did, like I remembered, oh yeah, you need to have caught 60 Pokemon in the Pokedex before you can move on to the after game, and I was just like, fuck that.
Which is really stupid because that's the only way you can get Mewtwo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that. You
But
need to go for all those terrible islands to get Mewtwo.
The worst part of all of that, though, is the fact that with my emulator, it actually didn't count me catching any of the Pokemon. I'm not sure if that
cool.
was a thing with the randomizer messing up that, but it was so shit.
From the randomizer.
What else is there? What else is
Like,
there?
I don't know. I just don't like.
Also more Braille.
Yay!
That was fun.
And what do you get from it? Unknown. Whoa.
Whoa!
No,
Gotta
no,
catch
there's-
a ball! Gotta
no,
catch a
no,
ball!
On Island 6. On
Oh,
Island
yeah.
6.
Yeah,
there was-
you actually couldn't move on until you learned.
Yeah. Which also still prevented you from catching Mewtwo.
I
And,
just
like,
want
I
to.
actually
and what did you need for
prefer-
that Braille? Cut.
Like, I'd actually prefer not having an after game like they had in Gen 1 rather than that fucking mess.
It was pretty bad.
If I can say so, like the Braille that said, do you know what it said? You needed cut.
You needed
like,
cut. You needed to cut a door. Fuck off.
Yeah, I honestly
Go
just found that out-
Caterpie!
I found that out by complete random.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, I'll just try everything on this door, and then this is after like at least like 5 weeks of being stuck, and I just used cut, and I just looked at my fucking game for about 10 minutes.
My Charizard randomly had cut at the time, and he figured it out pretty quick, but I'm still like, what?
Yeah, just the whole island shit is terrible. I don't. Again, the music is just ruined, and like, call this
You just
nostalgia all you
understand.
want, but I just feel a lot of the charm is gone in the remakes.
The sound fonts are bad compared to the original, but yeah, I can. It's because it's in this weird gray area where it's not retro.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad.
It's a very strange release.
I could probably still go back to it, but it's definitely not nearly as like. Again,
I just
Like, especially
I
nowadays,
just go
it's
back
probably
to
not
the
You
as
don't
well.
really even need to go back to it, though.
Yeah.
There's so many more alternatives to it in the end.
And especially since if you want to get like your Kanto starters or your freaking like they give you some in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. They give them to you in Pokemon X and Y. Soon you'll be able to transfer your red, blue, and yellow, your Gen 1 stuff to Gen 7. So
They're just pointless remakes that are worse than the originals in my eyes, and that just completely defeats the point of a remake.
I'll tell you one thing that was pretty cool about Gen 3, though, is that it had a lot of pretty neat spin-offs.
I
Yeah.
was about to bring up the
Yeah.
side games.
okay, Coliseum and XD. Let's just say they're probably the best side games we've like.
Now, hold
maybe
the
not the
fuck
best
on,
side games in
motherfucker.
general, but like the best side games this generation had.
Now hold the fuck on, motherfucker.
I disagree.
Nope.
Okay. There's probably one exception to that, but I think we all know that exception, and even then, Pokemon Coliseum and XD were still pretty good.
I'm gonna be really weird for a second. Coliseum and XD are my favorite Gen 3 games.
Yo,
I don't
what the fuck is this
blame
asshole
you.
steal?
Who is this again? Who are you? Get out.
Like,
No, I
No,
understand.
they had more story stuff to them that you
more story. It's
You could
like
catch Pokemon.
they still play like traditional Pokemon games. Like,
Yeah, I feel like double battles.
I feel like double. I didn't mind them in those games. I kind of liked them there, but
I don't.
They did them better than probably in the actual games.
yeah. But
I-
like, I don't know. I like the fact that it played like a regular Pokemon game, but like you had different objectives and stuff. It was just a really cool experience to me.
I get it, it's different, but I played a bit of Coliseum. It was and then I played like the first fucking 5 minutes of XD, and I'm like, this is fucking shit. What is this?
The thing with
Game's
me with
opening
like
horrible.
the thing with the Pokemon Coliseum games is I always looked at them as more story focused adventure, especially since for the most part you can't really go out on your own and catch your own Pokemon. You just kind of gotta go on this linear
Yeah,
path to finish the story. And let me tell you, the story of Coliseum 1 in particular is awful. It's really bad. Like, there are cool aspects to it. Like, I kind of like the idea of shadow Pokemon. I would like it more if the process of making them, like, normal again wasn't the fucking worst.
Oh yeah, it definitely was not.
It was
that
so
great.
tedious.
I think what really didn't help Coliseum in that regard was the fact that like you couldn't like even
You couldn't
purify them until you beat Mirror B for the first time.
Who is the highlight of the game? He's the sole savior of it all. That is the only reason you should play it. Play it up to that point. That's it.
And he comes back for XD.
He's the only decent admin of that game. I'll say that.
I think I played up until I started to fight that fucking demigod-looking motherfucker, and I'm like, I think I'm game. You know what I'm talking about, right? He's got huge, like his hair just kind of. Yes, the guy with Ante. His hair kind of stands up by itself like a fucking Super Saiyan.
I love Asura's Wrath.
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
XD was a much needed improvement, though.
Like I understand that they are by far not the best Pokemon games, but I don't know.
Look, don't get me wrong. I don't particularly care. I haven't tried them to their full extent. I'm just saying they are not for me.
Like, the designs of some of the trainers aren't great either, and the fucking names for the trainers are just bad.
They literally used a random name generator.
Like, what the hell are up with some of these? That's like the Battle Frontier crap.
Yeah. But
no, for me, like, when it comes to, like, Coliseum, the best parts are, like, I like the main character's design. That's all I recall really being like, yeah, that's cool. And then with XD, I did play way more, and I think the general plot there is a lot better. It's a lot more, like, tightly constructed, as, like, the final fight with the villain there is way better than the stupid fight in the original Coliseum.
Yeah.
Because that twist with the mayor was so stupid.
Hey! Spoilers.
XD's definitely
We're in a spoiler podcast here, motherfucker.
XD is definitely the better game out of the two.
Yeah, and again, Mirror B comes back.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And he has a much better theme, and again, spoilers. He also possesses the final Shadow Pokemon in the game.
He gets a fucking Shadow Dragonite, and the rest of his team is still just Ludicolo. It's great.
Well, I'd play more of XD if the start wasn't so fucking bad. I couldn't start it. I was so bored.
It's a very slow start.
Yeah.
Very slow games is my deal.
Go meet up with Professor I don't know, random name generator. Alright, where are they? Just find out yourself.
Just run around the place and find them. You'll eventually get it.
At least purifying in that game, ignoring the fact that, if you're ignoring the multiple different ways you can eventually do it, the fact is you can also purify your Pokemon much earlier than in Coliseum. And with you don't have to face any of the admins, so
I'll tell you one thing. I hope you have a decent memory card though, because those games eat up that thing.
God, yeah.
It's disgusting.
All right, now probably on to the other best game in the best side game, Mystery Dungeon. This time, Red and Blue Rescue Team.
Fuck yeah, Mystery Dungeon is fucking good.
It's so legit. It's so great. Man, I remember when the commercials for it were first coming out, and they were talking about how you could be your own Pokemon and go on an adventure with other Pokemon. It's like, yes!
Oh my god. And there was this little website where it made you take the personality quiz in, like, the first part, and I just sat on that website for, like, days.
I was so hyped for that game. I had that. I had, like, the special little, like, anime episode they did. Just to hype up the game, oh my god!
I had the anime episode. I had they had like a little manga for it. They were like giving out in like magazines and shit.
Yeah. Oh my god!
That was actually
you guys
the first time I read a manga.
Story in a Pokemon game. Let me tell you, Mystery Dungeon.
Fucking Dungeon
destroys the rest of the series story-wise.
The stories in those games, at least for the ones I've played, I have not played Gates to Infinity. I hear the story is just kind of there for that one.
It's all right.
It's all right,
good.
okay. But yes, like the
It's good.
story,
It's just very standard by Mystery Dungeon standards.
the stories in the Mystery Dungeon games destroy anything the other games have, barring like one gen later on that could
Yes.
kind of come close. But
Yes.
no, the story in here, like there's so many emotional moments without the characters, throughout the towns that you start in. There's a lot of struggles going on. There are literal like world-ending cataclysms happening, and only you and your partner can go and stop it. It's great.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mystery Dungeons, like the first one, is a little basic at points, but it's a really
Yeah.
good game.
That's as expected, yes.
Mm-hmm. Sound font could be better. I mean, then again, if you're playing
If you're playing the
Retrospectives,
DS version, it's a lot better.
mhm.
I can imagine. Now, I had actually never played that one. I played the GBA one.
I played the DS version.
I
Yeah, I
played the
played
DS
the DS
version.
version.
I actually played both.
Oh shoot! Oh shoot!
Oh
Damn.
shoot!
Yeah,
Mary, shoot, friend.
I was that guy that played all of them, including even when Time, Darkness, and Sky. I played all three.
But they don't have. There's no difference between the two of them.
I was gonna say.
God.
Oh, but there's no difference. So
I don't know
wanted-
why they did two
I
separate
wanted to play
versions
more
in
Mystery
that
Dungeon.
case.
God.
But no, like with Pokemon Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team, the highlight of that game for me was like of course part of the story where at one point your characters are kind of exiled from the town
Yes.
for this one like deal with the main character, and that is such a high moment because it's just you and your friend who are just out and about, and they're kind of like connecting and bonding at that point. They're starting to question, man, should I really hang with this guy? Like, I don't know.
It's the best fucking tale of. It's what the Mystery Dungeon series excel at. The tales of friendship between two people.
Yeah,
two
two
Pokemon,
people that
whatever.
just randomly come across each other one day, and they just bond from there because
And
they
it's like-
have one goal in mind.
Would you take on the world with this person?
Yes,
Yes, you fucking would. And you were gonna wreck the world. 'Cause- fuck it.
including the Rayquaza at the end.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, but yeah.
Some of the fights in Mystery Dungeon have me on the edge of my seat, though, because some of the Pokemon they'd make you go up against, I'm like, excuse me?
It's also, like, comparing the difficulty, it's a very difficult game compared
Yeah.
to the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm not mistaken, apart from maybe the Skarmory or the frickin' Team Me
TV.
Team Meanies.
Team Meaties.
all the bosses in that game are legendaries, like Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, Groudon, Rayquaza.
Oh, the fucking Groudon.
Oh.
I remember trying to recruit that thing. Not initially, but
Oh my god, it's got like a 10% recruitment chance!
It took me days,
Yeah!
God.
multiple different times trying to just complete the dungeon.
I can't even imagine that, because, yeah, going through that dungeon multiple times, no thanks.
Rayquaza was generous to me by comparison. Like, the harder dungeon, and yeah, I didn't recruit the first few times, but eventually, like, 9th time, got to it.
I did it.
The only problem is you need to fly to get to that after the main game, and that was kind of dumb.
It's in a fucking random dungeon too, it's like... I just fought it first that you just couldn't get back up to it.
Yeah, I thought it was a one-time only deal.
The pinball game, that was kind of fun.
I guess. I never played it. Sounds like pinball.
I played it when I was in the daycare. My friend let me borrow it quite a lot, and it was fun. What it is, it's pinball.
It's pinball.
It's pinball, but you catch Pokemon. Like, come on. But no, I wanted to just quickly mention, like, the only thing with Mystery Dungeon that's really a flaw, other than like one dungeon in particular that still relates to the story, would be like the after game.
Yeah, the first game didn't do very well in that factor, especially since everything's like
Random, but it's not only random, but a lot of it is like feels like it spikes up a lot from where you like are.
Oh my god, the
story.
difficulty!
99 floor dungeons.
Goody.
Also, this is only a thing that happens in the first game, and it really bothered me as a kid, especially but it's like usually when you talk, you can turn around and talk to your partner, like in the dungeons. And again, the whole fucking point of the game is it's a tale between two friends. In the after game in Mystery Dungeon 1, right as soon as you say, "I want to put anyone as my leader," your partner becomes a regular Pokemon.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he
follow
loses
you about
all
anymore.
personality.
Doesn't follow you about anymore. Pisses off to a friend area, and when you talk to them, they don't have any more unique dialogue. It's just like a regular
Awful.
Pokemon
Then,
anymore.
that
when
and they
you
just
evolve
lose
them-
their portraits when they evolve.
Yeah, when you evolve them, they also lose their portrait, and it feels a little
Which
like
is really silly because like you can get like especially if you use something like Charmander or
where Charizard already has a very well-established portrait. Yes.
Yeah, because he's already part of one of the teams, so it's like, what the fuck?
Makes the whole thing feel a little more bleak somehow. Like
It's all so empty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
It's such a shame, especially after that fucking ending.
yeah.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry.
I didn't cry.
I didn't cry.
I didn't cry.
Um.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've said all we need to do about Gen 3.
It's good shit.
Other than
Very-
Ranger kind of aged poorly. Really
Very
poorly.
balanced Gen overall. Has a lot of good spin-offs and stuff.
It could have been tweaked a little better in the main games, but
Could
not-
have had some better remakes of previous games, but like, I don't know. I'll be the weird person who appreciates the GameCube games.
I just love the Gen. I think it's one of the best.
All right.
Well,
Well, it was a good podcast, guys. I'm out of here.
Yeah, goodbye. All right, here we go with the big one, the big kahuna. Here we go. Okay,
Gen
Gen 4
so
kinda sucks.
I don't like it one fucking bit.
I'm the weird person here. I like it.
I
Fuck.
can take or leave Gen 3. Like, I understand why people like it as much as they do. But I just don't see it here.
Gen 4 has like one of the best remakes ever. It has one of the best side games ever.
Ever.
But man, let me tell you about that main game that they got.
Hey guys, do you like 8 fucking HMs? Cause
Oh, yeah.
boy,
Diamond,
the
Diamond and Pearl are awful.
I don't know where to start, to be honest.
Like, holy shit. My introduction, because I was hyped. I was so excited for that game when it was first being showed off, because it's like the commercials come out with their DSs, and it's like, no, you two can jump into the 4th gen of Pokemon.
was
I'm like,
so
fuck yeah,
excited.
let's do it!
I was so excited for that fucking game. And then it's like, oh hey, this is weird. The game seems to run at half speed.
Hey, I didn't know the DS was a Windows 95 operating system.
Oh my god, it was so slow. Actually, hold on. Before I start my fucking slander, TP, would you like to say a couple words?
Yes.
Yeah, I get.
Get the
I'm
positives
the
out of the way,
weird
get the
one.
positives out of the way.
Okay, I'm the weird person here. I actually really like Gen. I still really like Gen 4. I actually like. I'm aware it's slow. It's got too many HMs. Defog. Why are you an HM? I always thought that was stupid.
It's literally just later.
There's some pretty damn apparent flub ups with Team Galactic, especially in Diamond and Pearl. I'll say it's much better than Platinum, but
Keep going.
Keep going.
no, I don't know. It definitely probably more so than all the other. It created kind of like there was more lore to it. There was more I don't know. Just more I don't know, atmosphere. I guess I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but there are a lot of different areas. I hear grunts all around.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
I remember. I don't know. I just remember. I don't know. I remember just going out a lot, and it sounds silly, but there's plenty of stuff in the freaking Canalave library that I don't know. I was kind of engrossed in reading. There was a lot of. I really liked a lot of the roster, quite a bit of the roster. Not a lot of the roster because There's
Ugh.
some stupid Pokemon like why do you Burmy is kind of dumb. Why is
Literally the
Luminion,
worst Pokemon ever.
Luminion, you exist. I think you were literally the last Pokemon I had to see in the Pokedex.
Oh
Um,
god. Oh god.
No, I'm not denying this. Like, I do not deny that this generation has a lot of faults, but there's plenty of stuff like the Old Chateau. There's Mount Coronet's kind of too big for its own good, but
That's my biggest fucking flaw with the game. That fucking mountain. Hold on. You keep
hold
going.
it back. Hold it back.
Well, just all like there are plenty of different areas that I kind of like. I like Sunny Shore and how kind of this entirely big, it's all like kind of like the bridges it had and like how there's solar panel in the remakes. Not remakes, third version. I like the champion a lot.
The champion was
I remember
like a good fight. I'll give it that. Yeah.
At the very least, it was a good fight. And again, much better in plat. Like, there's just a lot. There's, I don't know. Like, I spent a lot of time. I put a lot of time into it, and I still really like a lot of it. Maybe I'll go back and see more of the faults. I know the HMs are still a big problem, but I don't know. I still like it.
Wait, man, you don't have to. You like what you like, but I am just saying, when it comes to me.
I don't. Man.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. The starters. I like one of them.
I like Piplup.
I like Piplup.
I like Piplup. I also like Chimchar.
I do not like Chimchar.
I do not like Chimchar. One fucking
Chimchar feels like a knockoff Blaziken.
Yeah. Oh, in so many ways.
And then there's just Turtwig over here, who's just bad.
I just... Again, like I mentioned, the game, like, especially the Diamond and Pearl, seem to run at fucking half speed. They are inexcusably slow.
Even Platinum, it's like the health bar just goes down so slow, especially near the end of the game.
When you have a lot of HP?
You have a lot of HP, and you just see their health bars.
When you're fighting a Pokemon like, say, a Legendary or a Snorlax, and that health bar is just...
God forbid Blissey.
No! And that's what everyone had! Everyone had a Blissey!
And it's just like, especially on the champion fights, it's like... God forbid you just miss KOing them because it goes all the way down to red. And then you use a next potion, you gotta...
And then it slowly goes back up!
It's like, oh my god!
And the fights are just so slow, and it doesn't help that I'm just gonna say this right now. Say what you will about the Gen 3 soundtrack on the GBA, let me tell you what I fucking hate. I hate MIDI piano keystrokes for my battle themes.
The piano pisses me off so much. It's just it's so bad.
Yeah.
When it gets to parts like the night stuff, like, because you can finally see, like, night in this game.
Mm-hmm.
As, like, an actual time, and it changes up the music, and it's just... The alteration with the night music is just terrible. It's so bad.
It's just that... It has a very, like, soundtrack in general. Like, there's so little, like, memorable pieces in that compared to, like, Gen 1, 2, and even 3.
No, that's not to say that, like, there are some good pieces of music in that game.
Like,
I'm just saying, as an overall experience, that soundtrack bores me to tears.
Like, I love the Garantina battle theme. I love the, Battle Frontier Leader theme. But I can't really remember much else that I really like.
I get what they're going for. They're trying to make all the night themes a lot more... Again... The MIDI piano really doesn't help.
I feel like
Gen
4 tries to have like a lot more of a mellow soundtrack in general. And like, while I can appreciate that, the soundtrack just feels a lot lesser compared to other games.
The rivals also varies, so whatever.
He certainly exists. Yes.
not the worst rival thanks to Gen 3, but also definitely
He's a
not
fine
the best.
guy, but like I don't remember anything about him. There's no
Yeah.
standout moment with him. Like he joins up with you to fight Team Galactic, and that's about it.
Oh, let's talk about Team Galactic.
Man, if there is any dip in quality from a villain team from like Team Magma and Aqua to this, let me tell you.
There is in the next 2 gens actually. It's worse.
Oh, yeah.
No!
It's a lot worse, actually. But,
Somehow, some way.
But, let me just say this. The grunts outright don't know why the fuck they're there.
Yeah, they actually tell you, I don't know why I'm here.
Why am I here with the shitty soup hat?
What? You don't find out the motivation of the team until, like,
Cyrus
almost
shows up.
At the end.
And even
And
then,
even
it
then,
really
it's
only
stupid.
not only is it stupid, it really only feels like it's Cyrus's motivation and everyone else like along for the ride.
The
some
thing is,
reason.
everyone as well, they're like, no, yeah, well, Team Rocket wanted to steal Pokemon, but Team Galactic tried to destroy the universe. It's like,
Whoa!
scale doesn't equal quality.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Cyrus wanted to.
Yeah.
Cyrus.
Yeah, we say
that
Cyrus
also.
wanted to because Cyrus is the only thing to take away from this team.
Yeah, Cyrus was alright, but even then, he's like, I want to destroy the world.
You know,
because
He looked like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed 24/7. Like I don't
you
care.
know what? I actually really don't like Cyrus as a villain. Because he's all like, ooh, I want to destroy the universe. And it's
Why?
like, okay, that's a pretty big thing. Why?
Christmas.
Because souls are impure or something.
Like,
Strife.
no, I think Cyrus is a shitty villain. I really don't like him at all.
I can understand what they're going for. He's got kind of no emotions. They're trying,
But it's just...
but like, it's
Give me some reasoning. Like,
Let me,
God.
let me say the reasoning is way worse than Diamond and Pearl. They try to expand upon it in Platinum, but let me tell you the thing they added in Platinum to help expand upon that is probably
doesn't
one of
expand.
yeah, that, and it's one of the worst things I've ever gone through in Pokemon. Let me just say this as, like, interesting as the idea of the distortion world sounds. I despise it with every fiber in my body.
It's
Oh,
an
man.
awful place.
Wouldn't it be really
it's
cool if we made it
fucking
You ever
terrible.
heard of hell? Yeah, this is hell, actually. Not even in the
This would-
context of Pokemon. It is literal hell.
This is literally my personal hell. I hate
Here's-
this so much.
Any moment you have to use Waterfall or Surf to ride up on like the different platforms, and you're just slowly going up. I'm just gagging.
And hey,
the thing that tops it all off is that there are no wild encounters at all. So
it's such an empty
all
place.
you're doing is just going through this dungeon.
And you hear the dumb MIDI
And you know what-
keystrokes in the background, and,
and you
you're
know
like,
what-
stop.
And you know what the only actual form of puzzle is in this weird fucking
Strength.
hellish world? Yeah, everyone's favorite, strength puzzles.
puzzles.
Fucking kill yourself.
Let me
You know,
quickly push the ball there. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah. It really feels like a great event. No, it doesn't. This is terrible.
And then at the end, you get the Scyther fight, and I like his theme, I guess. And then after that, it's the Giratina fight, and Giratina's cool. He's one of the
Yeah.
few Pokemon in Gen 4. I'm like, yeah, you know what, Satan, you're cool. I like you.
You know what? Weirdly enough, I like Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. I don't like Arceus. But you know what?
Yeah.
I fucking hate the concept. Space God, Time God, the Devil, and just God. We gave up.
Yeah.
I think God is too far. I think time and space are. I guess they're going too far, but I get it. I can make a huge exception for Dialga, if only because he drives the
Yeah.
plot of my favorite Pokemon game.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
let's-
going to say, like, I
that
do
being
not
said-
care for Palkia, but I do actually quite like Dialga and
Can we-
Giratina.
I
Wait, hold on. What is it, TP?
and then he
Alright.
muted himself. Okay.
And then he died. Never mind.
But more to my
I'm sorry.
point.
I was sorry. Someone came down.
It's okay, it's okay.
What do you want to say?
I was gonna say, do we want to get to that now?
No,
I'm
no,
not
I've still
yet.
got plenty to say. Hold on.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm gonna shit all over this
Like-
shitty game.
Like I feel like you can make a case for Dialga, Palkia, and even Giratina, but man, literally just putting God in, I think, goes too far.
I don't like how they made God My Little Pony.
Bah.
You know
Meh.
what? It also raises a question when in the later game they make a Pokemon that's just outright stronger than God.
That's the higher base stat total.
Also,
Like-
Arceus is one of my least favorite battle themes I think I've ever heard.
Dum, 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 dum.
I'm imposing God.
Gen 4 also, like, in general, just went overboard with the legendaries. Like, there were just too many of them.
I like the Lake Trio. I'll admit. I think they're
Yeah.
cute.
They are.
And they got a good battle theme. That's like one of the few I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
That's
In
a Pokemon
Platinum, I could have
song.
gone without making one of them a roaming legendary, but, you know.
Wasn't that also in Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah, they were. That one's also a roaming legendary in Diamond and Pearl. Then Platinum also added like the birds, and you also still have Cresselia as a like. Platinum also has like 5 fucking roaming legendaries. Kill yourself.
And
Kill yourself.
you got Darkrai, Cresselia, you got Shaman, you
Heatran,
Heatran, you got Fione, and Manaphy,
Regigigas.
Gigas.
Like it's just
I like plenty of them. I still like Manaphy. I still like Darkrai.
Yeah, but,
I still like,
like, I
Heatran,
feel
but,
like-
you know, I understand. Like I can understand. Like some of them just don't have like as much like behind them.
Heatran
Especially, like,
literally has nothing behind it.
It's just
Exactly.
there. It's just
Exactly.
there. In fact, it's not even there the
Exactly.
first time you go in. You go out, you talk to them about
Oh
it, then
my-
you go back
Then-
in, and then it's there.
You have to do the whole fucking dungeon again.
And it's a horrible, horrible dungeon.
It's terrible. It's an awful after game.
That's
Yeah,
I want to talk about that actually because we were talking about after games, and you said, "Oh, you require 60 Pokemon to get the after game of
hey
Fire."
kids, you want to transfer up your Gen 3 Pokemon to Gen 4? Well, better make sure you have seen every fucking Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex, or otherwise we're not gonna let you do it.
That's
on the
really
one
irritating.
hand, on the one hand, though, at the very least, they like every Pokemon in the game. Like you can still like, if I'm not mistaken, the majority, if not all the Pokemon can be seen by like trainer battles.
Two
or something.
exceptions.
God forbid
Two
you missed the
exceptions.
Drifloon like I did.
Yeah, 2 exceptions. One is Drifloon, which is kind of horseshit because you have to wait. I mean, I guess you can mess with your clock, but you gotta wait until a specific day.
But I
for it
don't
to
want
show
to
up.
do that. It's God.
And Riolu, which you have to hatch.
It's just unnecessary.
Yeah, on the note of that, though, Diamond and Pearl just add this thing where you will come across certain characters at points, and they will form a team with you to do, like, double battles until you get to, like, the end of the dungeon, which sounds neat in concept. Then you realize this game is slow. Then it adds double battles. Guess how slow the double battles are?
Very, very slow.
The only nice thing about them is that after every battle, they will heal up your Pokemon.
Yes.
Which, you know, yeah, cool, neat. But, like, God.
Hmm. It's just the whole after game is just kind of there.
If
Like,
it sounds
These
like I'm not saying all the problems, but it sounds like a lot of the problems that the after game could have been salvaged if it was as fast as Gen 5 or whatever.
it's just there's not a lot of fun things to do in it. Like,
No.
yeah, in Platinum the Battle Frontier's back, but even in Gen 3, I hated the Battle Frontier.
I don't
We never
like the
talked
Battle
about it.
Frontier. I
It's
want to go
kinda-
off on my adventure. I don't want to stay in the same area and do like these stupidly random battles.
It's just kind of it's kind of bullshit. That's
Yeah, I
Admittedly,
get more
the Gen 3
aggravated than anything.
Admittedly, the Gen 4 one isn't quite as bullshit as the Gen 3 one, because at least Gen 4 didn't have the facility where you literally just click fight and have the Pokemon choose a random move.
Oh my god. Wait, didn't it? I thought it did.
No, I don't think that one was in Gen 4. I'm
You
pretty
sure?
sure. But
TP,
it's
help
just, I
us
don't
out.
like the Battle Frontier, and everything else on that like weird little island you go to at the after game of Gen 4 is just... It's just not a
Yeah.
lot of... I just don't find it
The
fun.
random island you go to, you mean the square?
Yeah, the square. I don't know, there's just not a lot of fun things to do in it in general.
It's not great. It's
Yeah.
not great. Also, this gen brought back contest from Gen 3, which I completely forgot to mention from Gen 3, because who the fuck cares?
Cares.
Such a stupid addition.
Yeah.
It's a shame too that like I could totally get behind some of the locations in Gen 4 if like most of them weren't covered up by the mountainous region that they have going on.
That's
Because again, like Owen said, that in the end is in fact the biggest problem of the game is that mountain.
it takes up like you just have to go back to that mountain, and it's my big problem with Sinnoh as a region. It's probably my second least favorite region.
Yes.
The major problem is you just have to keep backtracking. You just
All
gotta
the
keep.
time.
God forbid you don't have a Pokemon that can fly, because oh my god, you just.
Because then you gotta go back to the mountain in order to get back to like one of the starting towns, so that you can go fight the Steel Gym Leader, which is literally right next door.
Yeah, you know what? In Platinum, you come out the fucking Distortion World, and I'm like, why isn't the fucking road opening? Guess what? You gotta go all the way back to the beginning of the game, talk to the professor for no reason, and then you can keep going.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
stupid.
I was stuck there for like an hour because I'm like, what do I do?
I also like that. There's also in the region there is like the seventh gym is like completely fucking out the way. It's like at the top of the region, and you need to go through this fucking
Awful
terrible
snow area.
snow route. It is just the worst route in any Pokemon game ever. It is awful.
I'd actually like to see it in a Sun and Moon engine because
It would
could be
look,
done
it
a
would
lot
look
better.
beautiful.
Yes.
And with
Not
the
only
free
that, but
roam in that
hopefully
game,
it
it
would
would
be
be cool. But man, when you get to the snow area and your reward on the first time you hear is like the fart music that comes out, you're like, fuck off.
Oh, okay. What was TP gonna say?
Speaking of which, can we make it not slow as just
Yeah.
not slow when we
I
get
think we got that covered by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. To like sum up the slow parts of Gen 4, they literally had to improve like the speed of the original Surf from Diamond and Pearl. Even
And with
then,
the speed of everything.
yeah, I
literally.
know. But
I
mainly
think
that
they-
Surf, because that's what stuck in my mind the most.
I think even like then, I think Hard Gold and Soul Silver even sped things up from Platinum because Platinum was still too fucking slow.
Well,
did.
even then, I have to say some of the late game fights in Hard Gold and Soul Silver are still very slow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gen 4.
But now I'm done. Sorry, TP. I actually have to apologize to you for that, but I had to get that out of my system.
We
Yeah.
ragged
For
on that gen
the
like 10
longest
minutes straight.
time, Gen 4 was my least favorite gen.
Yeah.
A hint at what's to come.
hint hint, it's not Gen 7 yet.
God, but to briefly go over to briefly, at least for me personally, to briefly shift gears.
Oh no, not you personally, me too, fucker.
Mystery Dungeon again.
that was not what I was going to refer to actually.
Can we wait for Mystery Dungeon because I have a lot to say.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, please.
But the
Alright,
one
shift
I was
gear-
referring to
the shift gears
was for
Gen
me
5.
was for me the TP.
Oh, I thought
For me, like this was for the longest time until very recently my favorite Pokemon game ever, Hard Gold and Soul Silver.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Let me get my thoughts out of the way because I actually surprisingly do not have a lot to say about this game. And the most I can say is improved more than Fire Red and Leaf Green. Everything's a little bit better. Kanto is still barren as hell. It's still a ghost town for no reason. I like it. Thoughts on it are pretty much the same as Gold and Silver, only a bit better.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Mhm.
You know, like, for me, like, real quick, because I know Kim's gonna have, like, a whole buttload to say. Our Gold, Soul, Silver, especially after, like, Diamond and Pearl, was, like, kind of an eye-opener. Like, oh my god, they still can at least make a game. And
Yeah.
it helped to really, like, define a whole thing with my family where everyone just loved that game. We would play it all the time. It's the first Pokemon game I ever maxed the time out on. Because that was, for the longest time, my cocaine with Soul Silver.
Damn.
Like, I would just play that nonstop. I would do, like, I would always, like, refight the gym leaders in Elite 4. I would always go explore around to find the different legendaries. Because there were events, even, like, years after playing the game, I'd still randomly find, like, the Arceus event that they did. Where if you have the Arceus and you bring it to the Unknown Cave, it does this stupid,
Google
like,
images.
birth going on.
With like all of these like
Google
actual,
images.
like JPEG images of real life shit.
And I'm like, what's going on?
It's so surreal for a Pokemon game, and then you get an egg.
Yeah.
And it
You get an
happens
egg
into
of, like,
freaking-
a god, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay. It's pretty legit. Then you got that, you got, like, the Gen 3 legendaries and such. There's just quite a lot to do, and I really appreciate that. And even with, like, the Gen 4 sound fonts, I think the soundtrack for Soul Silver is great.
Yeah. So it's
I think it is probably one of the best games in the series, honestly.
I would
And-
highly recommend going to pick it up, but the price on
Price
it now
still
is
hasn't dropped.
insane,
it's exploded in price in the last.
and I don't
year.
understand why.
Maybe I don't dislike it that much.
Honestly, it's weird to say, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver are probably my 5th favorite if I count everything right.
I'm not sure how the order would go if we're going to talk like the games themselves.
Might be my
I guess.
second
for me.
after again.
It'd be in the top 5 at least.
Yeah, easily.
I just it's like pretty much everything I love about it was summed up in the first playthrough. Like just the experience of a game you've played so many times, but like everything just looks so nice. It sounds so nice. Like you have Pokemon that follow you around, and it's great. Just I love
it's
that
one
game.
of the few times you could say the remake actually beats out the original.
That beats out the original, and like I just everything just like a lot of why I like it is just because I've always loved Gen 2, but it's all just nicely improved. It sounds so nice, looks so nice. Just I fucking love Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Like I said before, I'd like it a lot more if it addressed more of the real problems Gen 2 had, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
That's fair. Like, yeah, Kanto is a little improved, there's a lot more they could have done.
Kanto was a region I never really went back to by the time the after game happened.
They let you refight the gym leaders, and it's really neat. They in one aspect they did improve the leveling with the Kanto gym leaders.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just
Even small improvements, I at least think are improvements.
They are. It's just could have done better.
There's still some of the major stuff that's left over, but maybe the third time's the charm remake might just fix up a lot of
Don't
this.
remake it again.
Remake
I think,
all the games.
like even though they still have some problems, I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are fine as remakes. Like I don't think we need to go back to that again.
No, I wasn't even referring to
anytime
like
soon.
remaking those games again. I was referring to a later remake.
Oh. But yeah, no, I'm again hugely biased, but I love that game.
It's great.
Sorry, I had to move something. So do we want again? Do we want to move to the
Yes,
yes, CP. Now you finally get to talk about Mystery Dungeon.
Oh boy! Okay. Mystery Dungeon explores of time, darkness, basically like
Sky.
Sky is the
definitive
best
version.
Sky is I played through all of them at least once those, but yeah, Sky is the definitive version.
I
If you're going
never
to get
got
a
to
version,
play
get
Sky.
that one.
Just get it.
I
If you're
will.
I'm
Please,
planning
it
to
is
get that sometime soon.
like it is my favorite game ever.
Ever really? All right.
It is my fourth favorite game ever.
It's one of my favorite Pokemon games.
It's by far, yeah, like, despite how much I do like the GameCube games, Mystery Dungeon 2 is the best spin-off by a fucking long shot.
It's incredible what they do with the story.
The story, it's this, like, I say I had a lot to talk about it, but I can't really,
Because
Makes
most of
it
it would
good
have
as
to
in
be
the
like
story.
talking about all of the story and all the like the twists and the turns and all the emotion.
all I can say is that it's a fucking wild ride. The ending is even sadder.
Because the
It's
partner's
got
even
great-
better.
It's got great characters. It's got fucking fantastic build-up, honestly. Like,
It
the
has an
story
amazing-
is really well paced, too.
Amazingly paced.
Like, every part of that game works to a degree which I feel like it almost shouldn't. Like, a point of like, this game is better than I feel like it should be.
I feel like it has to fall at one point, but it really doesn't. It just keeps
doesn't.
going. And
The
it's
only
hard.
fault-
It's hard to say for any game really to keep up something like that.
Even the post game is not just. It's not. It's a lot. It's still a lot.
It's a whole extra storyline, and that
It
storyline
adds
was not as good as
upon the
one
main
is
story.
great. Yeah.
It reveals characters working in the shadows, and it's great.
more
it's good
motivation. More
shit.
It also, I have to say,
Pokemon Mystery
briefly,
Dungeon Explorers of Sky. More like I have been backstabbed. The game.
Yes,
also,
it was
I
a
have to say
trick.
this,
I deceived you.
the Mystery Dungeon 2 has the single greatest music track in all of Pokemon.
Oh yes, absolutely.
The final battle theme in that game is amazing.
It's really, really good.
If that was remade for any of the main series Pokemon games, it would be the best track in that game too.
Yeah,
Oh, now you're giving me awful thoughts.
but Mystery Dungeon 2 is such a surprise, and such a fucking nice surprise.
I mean, as a kid, even when I was gonna go pick it up, I know I would like it. But goddamn, I play that game so much.
I want to pick up Sky sometime soon before
Even-
that
To
suffers
give
the
it
same
like the ultimate replay of content that I didn't even get to play.
before it goes the same route as Heart Gold and Soul Silver has in price. But yeah, just it's a great ass spin-off. It's the best one, and it's one of the overall best Pokemon games. It actually manages to eclipse quite a few of the main series entries, which I think is impressive in its own right.
I can't. Like, it is my favorite Pokemon game. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking legit.
Yeah, I can't say much more than that, but oh my god, if you have not picked it up, pick it up, Christ.
Pick it up, play it, get an emulator, do anything to play it.
So I
The
think
active
Sky
game
is
is
also on
so
the
much
Wii U
better.
version. So
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is.
And if
Well,
anything, just play Sky. That's the best version of the game.
yeah,
Yes.
no
Another-
point in going back to Time and Darkness. Just play Sky.
Especially since in Time and Darkness, like there are some Pokemon that kind of are exclusive to one version or another. Like I think even
Yes.
legendaries are the case. Like
It's I think Sky just has all of them.
yeah, Sky, every Pokemon except for Arceus.
Yeah,
And even then, there's a statue. So
yeah.
But now, from the best spin-off, we go to the worst spin-off.
Don't you guys like Pokemon Ranger?
How did you know that's what we were talking about?
I actually kind of like Pokemon Ranger.
I
but
don't.
It's
Like,
kind of
like I
it's
played.
kind
TP,
I
I'm sorry.
played all of them. Like they can be fun. Like especially the second one can be a pretty decent time. But my god, the games get so repetitive as you go along.
I have only played the first one, and let
okay.
me
The
say,
first the first one is aged poorly.
Let
Yeah,
me say,
I
like,
hate the
I
first
picked
one
that one
before.
up after like finishing Diamond and Pearl 2. So how do you think I feel having like double back-to-back shit sandwiches?
Oh boy.
Like
Uh,
Pokemon Ranger is what like probably in the top case of the time I have gotten frustrated at a game because
Oh my
I just legit
God.
got so angry at points
The
at
first
some of the
Pokemon-
catches you had to do.
Thanks, Salamence.
The worst part about the first Pokemon Ranger, and this is admittedly to the Ranger series' credit, this is something they fix in later games. In the first Pokemon Ranger, you have to do the thing where you draw circles around the Pokemon to catch them. In Pokemon Ranger, if you fuck up once, you have to do it all over again. And in some of the boss fights, it's ridiculous.
There's
Steelix,
Steelix,
Salamence,
Salamence, the
Tyranitar.
Charizard. Then you have to do the 3 rowing legendary dogs.
It's awful. It's actually just awful.
Later games fixed it so that while you may require more lines at a particular time, it's alleviated by the fact that you don't have to do it like
In one go.
Which is especially helpful when you have fights later on, like Regigigas,
Oh no.
whose
Yeah,
stomps can freaking damage your stylus.
My main thing is just the games get late as the games go along, they get so fucking repetitive.
Also, the story's terrible. Just thought I'd mention.
It's just meh.
Bad.
I don't
bad.
like it.
That's why I didn't play the other ones, because that first impression was quite enough for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Regardless,
I can get
if
that.
these other games improve upon the formula, I refuse to play them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I think I would just absolutely hate it.
What other spin-offs are there?
Pokemon Battle Revolution, which is just the worst which is just the worst.
God, Gen 4's just great, ain't it?
Who cares?
It's
It doesn't admittedly have my favorite Pokemon game ever, but apart from that,
yeah. Pokepark,
I think we need to move on.
Yeah, we're done. Seems like Pokemon is just too much fun to talk about. So in that case, look forward to part 2 where the conversations and hijinks get even longer in the final 3 gens as of now. See you all real soon.